So the July stats just came out for Brampton, and it was not a good month. In fact, it was the slowest month of the year we've had so far. Let's get into the numbers. Okay, what I've done is I've been keeping track of the number of homes sold in Brampton every single month. And you can see this was the peak of the market, like 918, 928. That's when the market was really busy. But ever since the rate hikes kind of kicked in, you can see it's been dropping every single month. Now, what is kind of depressing if you are a home seller is only 400 homes sold in all of Brampton in all of July. That includes detached homes, condos, freeholds, every single thing. And that is going to make it the slowest month we've had this year. Um, June so far was the slowest, and January was the third slowest right now. So something to keep in mind if you guys are thinking of selling your house, because sometimes it's good to know the truth up front. Because I do realize, like right now, even right now, there are some people who are in denial and they are just kind of hyping up the market. And before you know it, you're locked up in a contract where and you can't get out of the contract. So just please be careful out there. Now, this is the market share, like a rough market share of Brampton. Detached homes make up the majority of the market, followed by semis and condos are at about 6%. So 52% for detached homes. So I received some constructive feedback, which I don't mind at all because it helps me improve. So if you guys notice something that, the stack could be presented in a better way somehow, please leave a comment because I don't mind that at all. I don't get offended. So somebody suggested that, like just by giving average and median prices, it wasn't telling the whole story. And maybe I should consider breaking it down by price ranges. So I've done that. It was a lot more work. And so you can see here, at the peak of the market, the most popular price range was 1 million to 1.5, and they were the highest number of sales. So this is the number of homes sold, and this is every single price range. 500 to million, million to 1.5, 1.5 to 2, and 2 million plus. So the most popular range in Brampton this year was 1 million to 1.5, but because the market has been declining, you can see here it dropped drastically, and now it is not anywhere close to being the most popular range. The most popular range right now happens to 500 to a million. You can see it was like number 2 spot, and then it's been slowly climbing up, and now it is the most popular range. If you look at the 1.5 to 2 million, there were quite a few sales in February and March, but because the rate hikes that came in, the market has been slowing down. So they've been declining ever since, and now they're almost next to zero. Speaking of next to zero, the $2 million range. They had a whole bunch of sales in January, February, March, but since April they've been going down steadily, and right now you can barely see it. So it's almost next to nothing. So hopefully that helps you guys out in case you guys want to, break every stat down by price range. I did that for Brampton for this year. Now, if you guys enjoy, we're not done. We're just getting started. But if you guys do enjoy this kind of stuff, it takes me like a long, long time. Like especially this stat here, like this was something new I did. I'm going to be doing this for every single city. If you guys do enjoy this, please consider subscribing because it does help the channel grow. Kind of cheers me up. Thanks. Now let's look at average prices. Okay, average and median I'm going to be covering, and you can see here this is for detached homes in Brampton, and you can see the market peaked in January for detached homes in Brampton, but now they are selling for 1.2. They were at about 1.65 at the peak of the market, and that is a drop of $439,000 in only 7 months. Okay, so that's average prices in detached in Brampton. If you want to look at median prices for detached homes, they peaked in February at 1.575, but just to be consistent, I'm going to compare everything to January. In January, they were selling for 1.54, and now they're down to 1.16. That's a drop of $380,000. Semi-detached average prices, they also peaked in February, but in January they were selling for 1.23, and now they're just below $950,000. That is a drop of $287,000. That is for semi-detached homes in Brampton. These are average prices. Now, if you want to look at median prices for semi-detached homes, pretty much the same story. They are down $315,000 since the month of January. They're selling just below $1 million. And freehold townhouses also make a decent amount of the market in Brampton. They were selling for 1.1 approximately, peaked in February for 1.18. Now they're selling just under $900,000. So that's a drop of $238,000. Now let's look at median prices for freehold townhouses. They are down $246,000 for a freehold townhouse, selling at exactly $900,000. That is freehold townhouses in median price range. Okay, so hopefully this kind of stuff is helping you guys out if you guys are thinking of buying or selling, because that's the whole point of these videos, just to give you guys as much stats as you can possibly handle, and that helps you guys decide like whether you should buy now or wait, or whether you should sell now or wait. Condo townhouses, the average price was peaked in February, but in January they were selling for about $870. They're down to just a little bit below $700. They've dropped $176,000. Now, median prices, same thing. They're down $161,000 for condo townhouses in Brampton. Condos in Brampton, they make up about 6% of the market. They peaked in February, and March was also very busy. But if you guys want to just compare to January, $622,000, they're down $61,000. Now, for any agent who says that I'm just trying to sensationalize the bad news, that is not true, because if I was going to do that, I would not be comparing it to the month of January. I would compare it to the month of February, which would show an even bigger drop. But I'm just trying to stay consistent and compare everything to January. Now, let's look at median prices. Median condos are down about $80,000. This is how many listings are taking longer than 2 weeks to sell. Like, no surprise there, in January and February when the market was really hot, almost next to nothing, like only 40 homes in all of Brampton took longer than 2 weeks to sell. But you can see here they've been creeping up ever since March. In June it was 200, in July it was 171. Listings took longer than 2 weeks to sell. And let's see how many listings got canceled in the month of July. More than likely, a lot of these got relisted at newer prices, more than likely lower prices. But you can see here, like April, May, June, July, I think because the reason it's going lower, I think a lot of sellers are starting to see that, okay, that market is gone. We're not going to get the February, March prices. So a lot of sellers are now, they're just trying to price it according to today's market value, which is great news, because then if you are a seller, you're not wasting your time and 3-4 months go by and nothing happens. So I think that's why you're starting to see this number drop a bit, because now the market value has changed, so a lot of sellers are kind of accepting that reality now. So this is what's on the market right now. Right now, there are 1,300 homes for sale. That includes freehold and condos. And out of the 1,300, 224 of them have dropped their price because they were not getting the price they were looking for. And out of the 1,300, 850 of them have been on the market for longer than 2 weeks. Now, why is this that important? I think it's just important because if you're a seller, you kind of want to know how long the house is going to take to sell. So now let's look at like SNLR. SNLR is just like the ratio between new listings coming up and at the rate that they're selling. So they always say that if it's above 60% is the seller's market, if it's below 40% is the buyer's market. Now you can see here, if we're just looking at Brampton for now. In Brampton, at the peak of the market in February, the SNLR number was 74.4%. And now in July, it has dropped to 58.1. That is a pretty sizable drop in only a matter of months. According to this, we are in a balanced market, but just by being out there talking to sellers and talking to buyers, I can tell you we are pretty much in a buyer's market. So something to keep in mind if you guys are thinking of selling or buying. because my goal in this video was to guys, just to give you guys as much stats as I have access to, and hopefully that kind of helps you guys decide, if it's a good time to buy or sell. And if you guys need some honest advice, if you guys are looking for an honest agent who's going to work hard, but also give you the truth, not try to hype up the market, not hide the truth, and not lock you up in a contract, give me a call. I'm always around. You can reach me at the number below. I'll leave all my numbers below. You can call me or text me, and I think that's about it. Thanks. See ya.